Time to do a little bit of Greek now. Today we meet the third declension. You've previously met the first declension nouns, mostly feminine. Remember the os, on, I, own, ice, os. For some reason I'm slipping on it today. You've met the second declension. Remember mostly masculine, a lot of neuters. Masculines os, u, o, on, oi, own, ois, us. And now today we're going to meet the third declension. It's a little less predictable than the first and second declensions, and yet it'll be very like any other group of nouns. The cases will work exactly the same way they do in other declensions. After all, a noun is a noun, despite its formation. Please remember my complete classes available at pottersschool.org and at American Lutheran Theological Seminary, alts.edu, and I hope we always have something good happening over at Wittenberg Door Campus Ministry, Wittenberg, Como for Columbia, Missouri. Here's the first and foremost thing you need to know when declining a noun, and that is that the stem of a noun is found in the genitive singular. Nowhere else. Well, it's found many other places, but the genitive singular is the place you look for it. That's where you find it. Also, please remember that the gender of a noun can only be identified reliably from the article. Usually in the first and second declensions you can guess effectively. In the third declension you cannot. Now, here's what we need to know. First off, third declension nouns may be any gender. You might try to predict what gender, what noun is, and at least in Latin I know, and in Greek there are certainly several guidelines for remembering which gender a noun is. Those guidelines in general are very long, complicated, and difficult to remember. And so I would suggest the only reliable way of predicting which noun is which gender is by learning the article. All right, learn the definite article that goes with the noun, whether it's ha anthropos, or he aletheia, or ta teknon, or any of these third declension nouns we're going to meet. Learn the article with it, and you will know what gender it is. Now, here's the other trick. The nominative case of a third declension noun normally has a different stem than the other cases. Normally, not necessarily, but normally. This means you need to master the nominative and genitive, singular, and the gender of each noun you meet. The nominative will show you the irregularity. The genitive will show you what is regular. And then when you know the gender, you'll know, for instance, if it's neuter, the nominative and accusative will match. So you really need the nominative and the genitive singular and the genitive, and the gender, each noun that you meet. Now let's meet some of these third declension nouns. Notice we've got some neuters, we've got a masculine, we've got a feminine, we've got another feminine, and there's no way of telling from the actual formation of the word what gender it is. Only the article will help you. Notice also, please, the stem is in the genitive singular. See elpis, elpidos, he elpis, tes elpidos, and then your stem is going to have that elpid all the rest of the way. All the rest of the way. You see it there? The exception is the dative plural. The dative plural has as an ending sigma iota, and when that sigma runs into something else, it has a tendency to mangle whatever it runs into. So that's why you see elpisci, that should be elpisci with a lambda in it also, not episci. All right, so elpisci, and you see it was originally elpidci, but nobody can say that. See that the oddball form, though, is the nominative singular, which does not have the normal stem. Let's look at those endings and see if we can recognize them. We have nothing, we have os, we have e, we have ah. We have ace, own, same as in the first and second declension, c, and os. Now, you notice already there are several of those forms that could be mistaken for forms that belong in different declensions. That's why you really have to know elpis, elpidos, feminine, and then you're going to know, oh, okay, the one with the os is not nominative, so this is third declension, not second. Let's see likewise with hey nooks, taste nooktos. You see the complete stem in the genitive singular, and then nookt is going to be your stem. See your endings, os, e, a, ace, own, c, os. So the endings will be pretty regular. Let's look at the next one, ha-archon to archontos. And you see then the stem, archont, and then those endings, os, e, a, ace, own, c, os. And there you have it. Now, I earlier told you that the gender of a third declension noun is unpredictable. That is so except for third declension neuters in ma. If it ends with ma and the genitive singular ends with matos, like ta anima to analmatos, it's definitely going to be neuter. So you'll see the neuter nouns in ma, matos, and they'll be pretty predictable. Again, no ending, os, e, because it's neuter, the nominative and accusative match. The nominative and accusative neuter plural also match and end with alpha, and you have own and c in between there. All right, so that's the third declension. It's a little less predictable in the formation of its stem, but once you can get that stem from the nominative and genitive, and once you know the gender, you should be in good shape. Have fun doing some Greek. We'll see you next time.